Chapter 10. At school the next morning, I found Molly at a table in the back of the art room working on her new project. Molly is even more intense about painting than I am. She has some cool ideas. She dreams up scenes on imaginary planets and paints them. Then she downloads photos of movie and music stars off the internet, and she prints them out and adds them to her paintings. They're hard to describe, but Mr. Vella, our art teacher, was really excited about them. He said Molly should do at least a dozen, and maybe he could get her a show in a gallery somewhere. I keep trying to get her to paint one with Buzzy from Skullboy, but she says she hates Buzzy's looks. She says she hates everything about him. Wow. So far, it hasn't ruined our friendship. I'm sure one of these days I can convince her she's totally wrong. I pulled out the chair across from her and sat down. "Hey, Molly," I said. "I like the purple and green sky. Way cool." She looked up from her painting. "Britt, how come you were so late this morning?" "Ethan, of course," I said. I picked up a clean paintbrush and pretended to stab myself with the handle. Ack! "He's a cutie pie," Molly said sarcastically, adding brush strokes to a clump of purple trees. "Mom made pancakes for breakfast," I said. "You know, Ethan's first day of school, everything has to be special for Ethan. And you know what that creep did?" I slammed the paintbrush down on the table. "He made me laugh, and I squirted maple syrup in my hair and on my t-shirt. I had to go shampoo my hair and change. Now I'm in major trouble with Mrs. Haggerty for being late. I could kill that brat." "So, things are going well," Molly joked. "Not funny," I muttered. "How come he's going to school here?" Molly asked, concentrating on her trees. "Because no one knows how long he'll be living with us. Dad dropped him off at the elementary school this morning. I have to wait around till 3:30 to pick him up." Molly snickered. "Did he bring that ugly dummy to school with him?" "No," I said. "He told us Mr. Bad Boy likes to sleep late." "He's totally mental," Molly said. "Does he believe it's alive or something?" "The little clown is trying to make me believe it's alive," I said. What a joke. Molly narrowed her eyes at me. "So you don't believe it?" "Huh? Believe Mr. Bad Boy is alive?" I said. "Of course not." That night I had dinner at Molly's house. Her dad was off on another long trip. Margie, the housekeeper who always stays with Molly when her dad is away, ordered us a pepperoni pizza and a couple of salads, and we had ice cream pops for dessert. Was I happy? Well, yes, pepperoni is my favorite. But mainly, I didn't have to sit across the table from Ethan. After dinner, Molly and I were in front of her laptop checking out the latest gossip on Faceplace, our school's message board. Molly's bedroom is almost as small as my new room. She's covered one whole wall from floor to ceiling with her paintings, and it looks really awesome. "Guess who wants to bring his dummy to school tomorrow?" I asked. Molly shook her head. "Doesn't he care that kids will think he's a geek?" I shrugged. "I don't get it. Guess he just wants attention." "My dad said he's seen Ethan's dummy before," Molly said. "He just can't remember where." "Let's not talk about it," I muttered. I glanced at the clock. Almost 8:30. "I'd better go home and write that essay," I said. "I'm already on Mrs. Haggerty's bad list." "Whoa! Check this out," Molly said, eyes bulging at the laptop screen. "Cindy Siegel's photos from her party last week. Oh, wow. I can't believe she put these online. If her parents ever saw them." I ended up spending another hour at Molly's. Then I hurried home to write the essay. It was due tomorrow, and I knew I couldn't afford to mess up. Mom and Dad were in the den watching a movie on TV. The house smelled of popcorn. They have popcorn almost every night. They say it's low-calorie, but they eat huge bowls of it. I started up the stairs to the attic, then remembered it wasn't my room anymore, so I turned around, made my way down the hall, and stepped into the little sewing room. I flashed on the ceiling light and gasped. "Oh, no!" My poster. My Skullboy poster. The glass frame was cracked and shattered. I saw jagged shards of glass on the floor. I stood frozen in the doorway, unable to take another step into the room. My eyes stared at the shattered glass. And then I saw the long rip down the middle of the poster. It had been torn in half. And Buzzy's face? It was gone, torn off the poster. My heart pounded in my chest. I suddenly felt cold all over, as if the room had turned to ice. I blinked several times, trying to force the sight away. And then my eyes stopped on the painting of Phoebe. I let out another gasp when I saw the red mustache smeared on the dog's snout, and splashes of red paint covering the dog's eyes. Oh! I was squeezing my fists so tight, my fingernails were digging into my palms. I took a deep breath, then another, but I couldn't calm down. "This is the last straw, Ethan," I muttered through gritted teeth. "This isn't funny. This is mean and vicious." I spun around and started toward the attic stairs. What did I plan to do? I don't know. I couldn't think straight. The blotchy red mustache stayed in front of my eyes. I was actually seeing red. I wanted to tear Ethan in half, just the way he tore my poster. I stomped up the stairs. My hands were still balled into tight fists. "Too far," I muttered. "This time, you went too far." I burst into the room. Dark except for the pale, low light from a tiny nightlight down on the floor. I nearly tripped over the pile of dirty clothes Ethan had dropped in the middle of the carpet. Kicking a pair of jeans out of my way, I stormed up to Ethan's bed. "Ethan!" It took a while for my eyes to focus in the dim gray light. And then I saw the dummy, stretched out on the bed, his head resting on the pillow. "Ethan!" Not there. Ethan was not in the bed. Huh? I heard the shower going downstairs in the bathroom. Ethan must be in the shower, I realized. I stood frozen for a moment, clenching and unclenching my fists. And then I jumped back as the dummy moved. The head jerked. Mr. Bad Boy sat up quickly. The blue eyes blinked open with a wooden click. The ugly dummy turned its stare on me and uttered in a hoarse whisper,